Great photo. So let's go from flying back to 2RR.
Yeah.
Were you assigned to a platoon at that stage?
Was I?
Assigned to a platoon when you got back on the 5th of July?
Yes.
You were, right.
Yeah. 2 Platoon A Company.
Okay. So between that time you were assigned that platoon and the Hook, I imagine you were doing some patrolling here and there, but was there anything?
There wasn't a lot of patrolling.
Really, right.
There wasn't a lot of patrolling on the Hook.
Was there expectation that there was an armistice coming?
No.
No, right, okay. So at that point in time, the cessation of hostilities was probably not a big consideration.
Not really.
Right.
Not really. The big consideration was that we would be attacked.
Right.
Because you had the Black Watch, the Duke of Wellingtons,
Mm.
and other regiments
Yeah.
that were mass attacked. And in fact,
Correct me if I'm wrong, but the position, the Hook was attacked that same position was attacked back in May in that year, and it was quite a catastrophic.
Every time they were attacked, the first people that attacked on the Hook were the U.S. Marines.
Right.
The second people that were attacked were the
Canadians? No.
sorry,
Not Canadians.
no, they weren't on there.
Right.
They might have been on there in between these attacks, but second lot attacked were the Black Watch. No, it wasn't the Black Watch. Yes.
The Gloucester Regiment was.
Yes, it was.
Were they still around after the Imjin River? They were.
The Imjin River was immediately behind.
Right.
Immediately behind the Hook.
Yeah.
And that was the critical issue.
Hmm.
If it's in those articles that I've written there.
Yeah.
If the Hook had been taken, it means there would have been a clear run to the Imjin River.
Right.
And the Chinese would have got across it, and then it's a straight run to Seoul.
Yeah.
And the Chinese obviously knew that if they got to Seoul, we'd had it.
Was there much of a divisional reserve?
None.
None, really. Yeah.
None.
Yeah.
No divisional reserve.
So it's pretty precarious in terms of.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right. Like the cost payoff for the Chinese was pretty good.
Yeah,
if they could pull it off. Right?
Yeah.
So you were in the same bunkers that were defended by the
Black Watch,
Americans and the Black Watch.
Americans,
right.
The Duke of Wellingtons.
Right.
Exactly the same bunkers.
And was there sort of, could you read the defensive works? Was there some evidence of what had gone before?
Oh, they'd been blown in.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And so I guess there was a bit of sandbagging you guys were doing. Reparation.
That's all we did.
Right. Did you use corrugated iron as well on the bunkers?
Sorry?
Were you using corrugated iron or wood?
No, wood.
Wood, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sandbags.
Sandbags.
They were pretty secure.
And what sort of wiring was in front of you?
Barbed wire.
In concertina wire as well?
Yeah, concertina wire. Yeah.
And
that's all that was used.
Yeah. How high was it? Was it too high? Or?
Oh, it would have been 2 foot high.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was down there.
Right.
Down behind.
Okay. Now, I noticed the picture up there by Ivan
Heel.
the war artist of the Samish of the defence of the Hook, and it has some Australian soldiers pretty much. I don't know if it's artistically depicted, but they're leaning over the edge of what looks to be a sort of a small precipice or a cliff. Was that very much like the geography?
In the front, the hook was so called because it was shaped like a fish hook on its side.
Right.
And went like that.
Yeah.
And what you had, when we deployed on it, we had C Company on the barb.
Yeah.
And as you came round the top,
Okay.
that is the actually the hook where you came round the bend.
So it was quite a narrow feature too in that regard.
It was quite a narrow feature,
and you got a company or a battalion on the feature?
Well, we basically had a battalion on it.
Right.
And then you had C Company on the left on the barb of the hook. Then round the top of the hook you had A Company. But then you had A Company, C Company, and you had B Company, and then right round as you actually defending nothing. What company did I miss out on?
D.
D.
Yeah.
It was D.
And what about support company? How were they spread out?
Oh, well, they had machine guns and mortars were a bit further back, but machine guns scattered around on it.
Yeah. The 3RR were in location.
They were behind us.
Right. So could they engage from where they were located?
Yes, but they didn't.
Right. Were they designed to engage you in case you were overrun? Or
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was their task.
That was their task.
Right.
Yeah. If we were overrun or in a counter-attack role.
Right. Okay. What sort of rehearsals did you have prior to the hook? In terms of none. Yep. Were they necessary, or because of the fact you'd spent
Well,
the
they
time?
would have helped.
Right. Okay.
There's no question about that. It would have helped.
Yeah. Did operations on the hook change by day and by night?
Not much happened by day, except reconstruction
Right.
work.
Yeah.
It was a hell of a mess
Yeah.
because we'd been overrun
Yeah.
4 times in 3 months.
And how much interference from the Chinese did you get from
Not
there?
a lot.
What about artillery or mortars?
Oh, you'd get an odd mortar round in. Wasn't a lot. I mean, there's no doubt the Chinese could see everything that was going on.
Right.
But
So they're within a mile away
probably
or
thought
over a
we were
mile
silly
away?
buggers.
How close would they have been?
Oh, they were
3 miles?
three quarters of a mile.
Okay, right.
They probably thought, look at those silly buggers.
Yeah. And what made the hook special other than just being a defensive position?
If the Chinese, there was a sort of a, well, I suppose you'd call it a valley between the Americans, who were on the left, and the Australians, who were on the right. And it was the 7th US Marine Regiment. And if the Chinese were able to break through between the Americans and us, that's when they get that clear run through to the engine.
And so if
that's why it was so important.